this week is Lech Lecha. And there's a lot of different articles and drashes and things about this Torah portion, and even specifically about these words Lech Lecha and what they mean. And it's I guess the literal meaning is go to yourself, or go yourself, go by yourself. I'm not sure exactly, but but it's interesting because it's very it's like action, right? Go to yourself, go for yourself. And it it's about it's about Avraham, and for him to go to the promised land that Hashem promised him to go, right? And it's a kind of a paradoxical story, right? So Hashem commands Avraham to go to the land, and he travels pretty much all around the land, a lot of it anyways. And then and he gets like to I guess it seems like the kind of the middle of the land or somewhere, and then all of a sudden there's a famine, right? And there's no food in this land that Hashem told him to go to, right? So he is sent out of the land. He has to leave the land because there's nothing for him there to eat. And so he is forced to go to Egypt, right? So the question for us is, what kind of beginning and what kind of story is this? Hashem commands him to go to a land that he can't even stay in, right? And he's promised, but then he's hungry when he gets there, and then he's exiled pretty much from the land that Hashem promised him to go. And there's this commentary, this idea that I'm getting comes from Rabbi Schneerson, and he says, sometimes, Hashem works in ways that we may not see, we might not know, what's going on, but Hashem has a plan, right? And so the midrash about this story about him having to leave and go to Egypt, they give the midrash about comparing Abraham to a bottle of perfume, right? And so if you have this perfume in a home, so just in a room, and the perfume is over in the corner, far away, kind of closed, even, you don't smell it. You don't smell it in the room. You only smell it in that one corner if you walk over there close to it, right? But if you get that perfume and you kind of walk around throughout the whole room, then the whole room smells of this perfume, right? It doesn't immediately leave, right? It's there. It kind of permeates the whole room. And so so this midrash is comparing that's also what Avraham had to do, right? He had to journey around through the land, and even outside of the land, and even into Egypt, right? And obviously, this also comes to mind when you're thinking of the story. You also think of what Yeshua said to his disciples, and I'm not sure. I think it might even been on the sermon. Well, he said it to a group of people, mainly his disciples, and he said, "Neither do people light a lamp and put it under a bowl. Instead, they put it on its stand, and it gives light to everyone in the house." So, comparing, you can also apply that to Abraham as well. He was a light too, right? He was a light, and instead of being only in one spot, he had to be a light everywhere, right? He had to go all the places so that the light will shine to different spots, different areas. Okay, and so. So ideally, if we apply this, we see that Abraham's journey was not to just be his own personal journey, but it was actually to be kind of in a sense, a public journey, a public way to go and share Hashem, share the truth about Hashem that he knew with all those around him, and even people that he may not know, new people. He was like the first, I guess, kind of, I don't know, evangelical. He evangelized, right? He's sharing the message of Hashem, right? Not sure if that's the right term, but that's what he was doing, right? And so, because of this famine, it was a challenge it was definitely a challenge to Avraham, but it had to serve the purpose. It brought the truth about Hashem to Egypt, right? And there's a different lesson, even more. One of the things that Hashem promised of Avraham is that his renown would increase, right? And what does this mean? That Abraham's renown was going to increase. It wasn't just about his individual renown, like his own personal glory or fame, but it was his connection with Hashem. He was so interconnected with Hashem that when people would speak good about Abraham, they were actually speaking good about Hashem, and vice versa. If there's going to be, if they knew about Abraham, they knew about Hashem, and they knew the goodness, that the reason why Abraham was good was because of Hashem, right? So this setback of the famine coming and making him leave is not only at one instance, right? We see this throughout history, right? We see this throughout the history of the Jewish people. We're always set back. We're always pushed out to different lands, and then Hashem's knowledge of Hashem can be increased throughout the world, right? So this diaspora, even though it is a very negative thing, Hashem definitely uses it for his glory and for it to further his truth, right? And it's still right now. It's still happening. It's been how many thousands of years now, but we are still sharing Hashem's message. We are still being perfume, as it were. We're still being light. We're still sharing, right? And so I guess the real world example that we can use, the challenge that I'm going to give you this week, and hopefully continue on more than just 1 week. But the challenge this week is, so I want you to choose someone outside of your normal circle, outside of your friends or your family, but like someone that you maybe coworker, or just even someone random stranger, and do something nice for them. Do an act of kindness for them, like a kind word or a kind deed, even just any kind of random act of kindness, right? That we heard, to show that person or these people that we're going to be interacting, that your God is kind, and you're going to be kind, to them, and so that the goodness of Hashem will spread, and they will associate, these people that follow the Torah and also Yeshua are so kind and loving, right? That's what we want. We want that, and definitely want that. We don't want to lose that. We know that's a kind of maybe a Christian idea, but we don't want to lose that. That's a very good thing to pass along to our faith that we have. Our faith might be a mixture, but that's definitely one of the parts that we want to hold on to and not let go, right? We want to let our light shine. We want to let the perfume of kindness and goodness permeate wherever we're going, right? And we want to break out of our maybe comfort zone and be kind and nice to strangers that we don't know. And I'm talking to me specifically, I'm talking to me mostly because I am very introverted. I don't like to break out and talk to new people and stuff. And so this message is definitely for me more than maybe anyone else in this room. Okay. And so with that, I just want to remind you, sometimes the greatness, things that we do that may become great later on, start with some kind of hard trial or some kind of thing that pushes us out of where we really want to be, like pushes us out of our comfort zone. But Hashem uses that and makes it into greatness, and makes it into and is able to share His love, His goodness with all those around you by using us. So that is my message today. So Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. On